Be with you, Rachel.
Let me ask you if any of the way that I explained that sort of seems the wrong way around to you, or if it seems like I'm putting the emphasis in the wrong place. It seems to me that Trump having a judge arrested is a reckless and desperate move. It seems to me like, yes, there are connections to previous flashpoints and tensions that Trump has raised in even his first term by trying to put federal immigration agents into state courts. But to me, this mostly just seems crazy.
Well, I regard it very much within the prism of what we've been dealing with over the last month, which is an intense assault on judicial independence. They have been disobeying federal court orders systematically. They have incurred criminal contempt findings in the courtroom of Judge Boasberg, a conservative Republican judge. They have been demanding the impeachment of judges who rule against the lawlessness of the Trump administration. There are now more than 90 preliminary injunctions and temporary restraining orders against the chaos that's been unleashed on the country by the Trump administration. And now they're arresting judges. And the first felony criminal charge brought against Judge Hannah Dugan in Wisconsin is interfering with a legal proceeding, which is essentially what they've been doing all along. What Judge Boasberg is about to hold them in criminal contempt for, and has found that there is probable cause for criminal contempt, is that they deliberately ignored and defied his order not to take off in those airplanes headed for El Salvador and not turning the airplanes around. So on the logic of this arrest of Judge Dugan, all of the people in the Trump administration who participated in defying that order by Judge Boasberg themselves could be arrested for interfering with a legal proceeding and perhaps other criminal charges like kidnapping, as you were suggesting before.
You have said that the independence of the judiciary has to be defended. You said we must do whatever we can to defend the independent judiciary in America. Obviously, there's this individual case of this judge. There's also potentially the intimidation factor towards all judges, right? That this has an effect on trying to scare and intimidate judges into not ruling against Trump or otherwise acceding to Trump and the Trump administration's demands. When you say we must do whatever we can to defend the independent judiciary in America, what do you think that we should do? We've seen people instantly and spontaneously react by going to the courthouses, by going to the streets to protest. Do you think that matters, and what else do you think could?
Well, absolutely. I mean, everybody who aspires and attains to public office in America, regardless of which branch they're in, is just a servant of the people, and the people need to manifest their outrage about these assaults on judicial independence. The first branch of government, the legislative branch, Congress, must do the same thing. We must reject all of these attacks on individual judges, some of which have led online to violent threats and death threats. There was a bomb threat made against Justice Amy Coney Barrett's sister. And there have been lots of threats made against judges, but we've got to defend them against that, and we've got to defend them against impeachment. There have only been 15 federal judges impeached in our entire history, always for corruption charges like bribery or tax evasion, never because somebody in the government disagrees with the content of their opinion. As Chief Justice Roberts said just a few weeks ago, the proper response to disagreement with district court's opinion is to appeal the opinion, not to impeach the judge. So there's this constant vilification and demonizing of the judges that we've got to turn around. And obviously, arresting a county court judge in Wisconsin is a dramatic escalation of these tactics.
A dramatic escalation, and one I think that will escalate the kind of response that they get as well. I think that it was a shock to the system, I think, when people saw those headlines today. That's why people got out in the streets. I mentioned that people went out and protested in Milwaukee outside the courthouse today. People went out to other federal buildings and other federal courthouses, including Minneapolis today, to protest. I'm not sure that they recognize they've bitten off more than they can chew here. But we shall see. Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat of Maryland. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say the country is rediscovering the two most beautiful words in the English language, due process, because that's what separates us from being a free society with real rights from becoming a dictatorship.
Congressman Jamie Raskin, it's good to have you here, sir. Thank you so much.